Welcome back to episode 52 of the Xbox North podcast. This week we have returning guest Tony from the Plume Network joining us for our big showcase prediction episode. And it also has been officially 1 year to the date since we started this podcast. So it's also our 1 year anniversary today for doing this. So I can't believe it's already been a year. But this week we discuss Sonic Frontiers, finally showing off some gameplay, and Jedi Survive, the highly anticipated sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, being announced by Respawn Entertainment. All this and much more, but please like, share, and subscribe if you can. But with that said, Tony, thank you for coming back. How are you doing? What you been playing?
I'm doing great, and congrats, guys, on your 1 year anniversary for this show. That's a big feat, doing an entire year of shows. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, so congrats on that. What I've been playing pretty much the same games, I'd say, for the last month or so. I've been playing Elden Chronicles, which I'm very close to finishing now, which is like a side-scrolling JRPG hack and slash prequel to, I guess, the overall bigger Elden Chronicles game that's coming out. Yeah, very very cool game, a lot of fun. A lot of fetch quests and stuff, but I find the graphic style.
I'm playing it on here.
Oh, you have? Awesome. Yeah. No, I actually, that reminds me, I've been playing it on here.
Oh, yeah. Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
A little flashier than mine.
Yeah, I've been playing on this thing, which I just got like 2 weeks ago or last week or whatever. Awesome device. It's changed. I've been mostly playing on my Xboxes and stuff and just connecting it to my TV. But this thing here just blowing me away how well it works with everything that works well on Steam through the Steam OS and then Xbox Cloud Gaming. I've been doing a lot of gaming on that. I wanted to install Windows on it, but I was like, Xbox Cloud Gaming works so well on that thing. I'm just going to keep it with the controls and stuff like that. So
yeah,
because you have the connection to your phone. I want to get something like that, but with the Steam Deck, I don't got to worry about it. But yeah. Great game.
That's good to hear the cloud streaming's working good on it.
Yeah. It takes like 5 minutes of setting it up, so it opens up properly when you launch the app. But as soon as you get it going, it's great. And it's I don't know. I've tried it on my phone previously, and it worked okay. But I've seen no stuttering, no artifacting. I don't know if they've upgraded their servers or whatever, but it's been awesome. Besides that, been playing Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga with my wife. We just are going slowly through that and collecting a bunch of stuff. And cool game, fun, easy to jump into and jump out. You have 30 minutes or an hour there. Definitely recommend it if you like Star Wars, if you like Lego games. And I've been dabbling in playing Ghost Recon Future Soldier again, the Xbox 360 version. Which
Future Soldier.
Such a great game. Yeah. I was playing through it and I was like, this came out on 360 and it looks incredible. It's like a cover shooter. It reminds me a lot of Gears, but more realistic, right? And more tactical and stuff compared to Gears. And I'm just loving it. I'm finishing it up. I'm almost done it. So probably will finish that up this week and get ready for some big announcements at the end of next week.
Heck yeah. Well, we'll definitely have more to talk about that for sure. Yeah. Any TV shows or movies you've been watching or anything like that? You watch Obi-Wan?
I started Obi-Wan. Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes. So I think the 3rd episode, I don't know if it's out yet or not, but I've watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it came out today.
Okay,
so watch that tonight.
I got to watch that. I like it. I liked it a lot, actually. It was just good, fun. Ewan McGregor is awesome. I love his acting. I've always liked him. There were some corny scenes, like the chase scenes were sort of corny, but other than that, if you just kind of look past some of the corny Star Wars stuff that they throw in there, I thought so far it was a really great start to the series and really excited to watch episode 3. And my wife, who's not a Star Wars fan, was watching it as well, and she was like, wow, this was awesome. So I think that's kind of a good sign too.
Yeah, no, if it sells the person who's not a Star Wars fan, then that's always good.
Yeah.
I liked Leia in the show.
Yeah, she was really a good little actor. I thought she was like a highlight of it a little bit too. I was reading on Twitter and people were kind of making fun of it, and I was like, I thought she was one of the best additions to the show. Like the way the kid was acting, she was just a great personality.
Yeah,
But,
no, she was.
yeah.
I think, Dan, you're muted or having issues with your mic. But she was she is very quick-witted for sure.
Yeah.
The little actress who's playing her. So I look forward to seeing more of her. So I hope episode 3 is good for sure.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm curious how Hayden Christensen's going to come into that show. Like, he hasn't played Anakin Skywalker. Well, I guess neither has Hugh McGregor played Obi-Wan in a long time. But to see him kind of craft what his version of Vader will eventually be.
Yeah.
But I think we'll talk kind of more because I have a feeling it's going to be tied into a game coming up in the future. So I hope that's coming. But it's good to hear that everything's going good with you.
Yeah,
and,
he's going great.
Okay, there's Dan. Yeah, we got him back.
My headset was dying, and I plugged in the cable and everything, and then just changed it over to an Xbox controller for some reason, and that was not what should be connected to my computer right now.
If Dan sounded a little quiet there for a second, he was not gone. Well, he was gone for a second. So, but Dan, how's everything with you? What have you been playing? What are you up to?
Oh, it's been pretty good. I've been working a little more and everything, but trying to have some fun. We took the kiddos and saw Sonic 2, and we've been out and about trying to go visit some friends and walk in the park and stuff. So
yeah, it's been hot.
Yeah, it's been really hot lately too. So hopefully it'll cool off a little more for us. I've mostly been playing this game we got some footage of right here, the Sniper Elite 5. It's been really fun. They've got like a horde mode too on it, and I tried that out a few times, and there is a lot of waves of enemies, but it was fun. And I was only playing on medium, so.
Game's hard, and the co-op is a lot of fun. Tony, you got to get on to Sniper Elite 5. Shockingly, a really, really cool game. Reminds me of Splinter Cell in World War II with sniper rifles.
That sounds pretty awesome. I've never gotten into the series. I played a bit of Sniper Elite 4 when they added the FPS boost to it, just to check it out and see what it was all about. But yeah, I definitely will check it out. I just have like games on the go right now. I got to finish them. My my brain won't let me until I finish those other games.
Yep.
Oh yeah. But
I've been trying out some No Man's Sky again too. Because that one's got another update with like we were I think talking about last show. They've got like a new roguelike feature, and you can like kind of go backwards through time and redo like the levels and everything. It's pretty crazy. They just keep expanding on that game. It's huge.
And Sean Murray said they're not even like close to being done that game, so there's going to be a lot more updates coming for it. So that game is forever going. It's crazy because my wife is playing. Actually, she's playing it right now, which is funny. And she's playing it all in VR, and she is blown away of how amazing this game is in VR. She's flying her ship. She's landing on planets, talking to aliens. She's like, this is the best VR experience she's ever like had. So it's such a cool game.
I think it's my favorite VR game because it's just honestly so cool. And it doesn't even run that well on my computer because it's hard to run VR games as it is, and my computer is not the best.
Yeah, no, it runs pretty good on her computer, but she has Alienware from she got it just before the pandemic started, so thank God, because
good call.
like skyrocketed in price like after that. So Any we were saying we were watching the new Star Wars show. Have you started watching that?
Yep. Started watching the first couple episodes. I got is the next one's not out yet. The third one?
Every Wednesday actually. So
every Wednesday. Okay, so it's
out tonight. Every Thursday is the new Star Trek. So more.
That, and I finally finished the new Halo TV series.
Okay. Have you started watching that, Tony? Actually,
I watched the first episode, and then I dropped off and didn't go back. I'm one of those guys.
That's all right.
I don't know. It was fine. Like I liked the action, but other than that, other than like the first opening 5-10 minutes of it, I just didn't enjoy the other stuff they kind of pushed in there. So I was like, whatever, I don't have that much time as it is. So I was like, I can't waste too much more time watching the Halo series. I gotta play some more video games instead.
Oh yeah. But give me I'll talk about it with you. What's your little mini review of it now that you finished it?
So I started out kind of like Tony, like I wasn't sure if I was going to get into it or not. Like it was the first few minutes were good, but after the first couple of episodes, I started getting into it more, and kind of by the end, I was pretty happy with it, but I was not the happiest with the very end of it.
Okay, and that's what I want to ask you.
Be.
So, Tony, do you mind if I spoil the end of the season? Because no, you don't mind?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so spoilers. We're going to talk about the end real quick. So Cortana, instead of being a chip in his helmet, she's actually surgically inserted into his brain. So at the end, he essentially dies, and Cortana like takes over his corpse or something like that, which is kind of weird. But the way he dies is like, I feel like he just gave up. He just ended up just walking out and be like, kill me.
Yeah. Like, no, Cortana will do better. Like it was a really weird moment.
Weird.
So they're planning for season 2 and season 3, right? Didn't they re-sign it for like?
Yeah, I think so. So
and
like,
it's going to be Cortana.
So they didn't say like 100%. John's dead. Cortana's now in John's body, sort of thing. But they heavily imply it, or at least make him a lot more like video game like. Like that kind of felt to me, because like he's just like an empty shell that you're controlling, sort of thing. And but like they spent the entire season building up, like he takes this like emotion suppressant implant out of him, and he starts to like feel more human. He starts to like see things in a different way. He wants to experience the world and everything. And yeah, he bones a lady, and you get to see a lot more of Master Chief than you ever thought you'd want to see.
Oh, I gotta watch it then if he bones a lady.
Yeah, right. But and then it's just like it builds right up to that, and then it's just the ending. Like Cortana takes over, and she's immediately way better at being a soldier than John is, which is kind of weird. I guess, like she's a super AI, sure, but at the same time, it's very odd. Like, are they trying to like imply like you play the video game as Cortana or something?
I don't know, but I thought it was funny because like as soon as she took over, it went lore accurate. Like, you know, like he turned into the badass 117, like we all know. And I'm just like, finally, like,
for the UNSC's finest soldier, he was getting his ass kicked a lot.
Oh my god!
Okay. Oh, like one of his teammates, like her chest was like completely like skinned, and like he just like walks in because he's like a stone cold soldier now, just like pulls out the torch and just like cauterizes her chest wound and just like walks to like and flies the ship off, and they're like, is everything okay, John? And he just looks at her, and I'm like, yes, this is exactly what should be happening. He just did that and just like gives a stare at the person, and it ends. I'm like, we finally got John 117 at the end of the show.
Yeah,
in the stupidest way possible.
That was like the big turnoff for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, you look at how well the show did. I guess they made the right call, right, in terms of the business side of things, because it appeals to just a much broader base of people, which is what they were going for. So
I'm just super curious how you continue out of that. Like,
yeah. Well,
like I get that, like now, he's more video game like at the end, and I'm not sure if they had like done that and been like, who knows if we'll sign another season, so we might as well end it like this.
Yeah. I thought, unless I'm mistaken, I thought I read something that they had signed them for another season for sure.
Yeah, no, another season is signed.
Yeah, I think they just like made it like that to leave it super open ended, because they don't say anything. Like he doesn't speak at all. Like it's not like Cortana's voice comes out of him or anything like that. He's just like very emotionless and like robotic.
So this is exactly how the next season will go. We'll get a full episode of no talking Master Chief. A full episode like that, and we're like, cool. And then the next episode, we're gonna get these weird, like, in the inner mind stuff where John is like dealing with like an emotional conflict, and he has to overcome that to take over his body again. And I fucking guarantee that is how it's gonna happen. like,
so do you think?
It.
Do you think somebody like me, if I didn't watch the first season, could jump right into season 2? If they did, like, just explain why he is the way he is now?
Watch a recap.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean,
I think you'd be fine.
Just an emotionless robot, then like all of his character growth doesn't really matter anyways. So,
see, what you should do is wait till the second season fully airs, because this conversation will be so behind us, and then watch both seasons and be like, oh, okay. You know?
Yeah. And it's funny because I watched Obi-Wan the first 2 episodes and I enjoyed it. And then I go onto Twitter and I see like there's a lot of people complaining about it and, you know, the usual. So I'm like, maybe I should just give Halo a second chance, since I was one of those people who complained about it. But if I give it a second chance, like I've given Obi-Wan a good chance, maybe I will end up enjoying it. But I don't know. First episode, I just couldn't get past it. I couldn't keep going.
Yeah. It like got more into the like canon lore and everything, because it's kind of like off track on quite a few places.
Yeah.
But they try and keep somewhat to it, and that seems to come like later in the series. Like they're introducing characters at first, and then it's finally like, okay, here's all your like fanboy stuff.
Okay.
Well, and they do weird like connections, like Captain Keyes' daughter is also her mom is Halsey. So like weird.
Yeah, that was the first episode, right?
Yeah, like weird character changes like that.
I think that was some of the stuff that turned me off from it a little bit, because they just went completely off track.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. But overall, I hope they do give it a second season and give it another chance. But Paramount Plus as a service, the fact that Crave in Canada has... So Star Trek is actually part of Paramount Plus in the States, but Star Trek is part of Crave in Canada. So I have literally no reason to keep Paramount Plus because... or I'll convince Dan to keep it or something because he uses my Crave. I'll use your Paramount Plus.
Let's just say, like, I watched Halo and like they had Sonic 2 on there, but beyond that, it's kind of slim pickings on there.
Yeah, it's slim, and their original like programming just doesn't seem appealing. Like I didn't see anything on there that I wanted to watch.
So, did you watch it on your computer or on your Xbox? Because I hated the computer experience on it too. On your phone? Like,
Yeah,
because the player is super weird, because like it already starts out like, for some reason Paramount and Crave both do like a very small screen on the computer. Like it's in the middle of my screen. It's not like the full screen or all the way across or anything.
Really?
It's like a very small screen. And then Paramount Plus one-ups it, and I can't even play the next episode when the episode ends. I have to go like out of full screen mode and scroll down a bit and then pick the next episode.
Weird. That is weird.
It's a very strange experience.
Yeah.
There's like no customer service in there, it seems like. I don't know.
There you go.
It's just my complaint.
Valid complaint.
Right?
Well,
what about you, Josh? What did you get up to this week?
Well, looking to sign my son up to swimming lessons, so I just got the pricing back, so that was fun to find out. Gonna do it, but you know, I think our insurance can cover a bit of it, so which is nice. But all in all, been playing Sniper Elite 5. Co-op is really cool in that game. Also, I've been playing Diablo Immortals today. So I actually sat down for a good hour playing it on this actually right here on mobile on the controller, which surprisingly the game has really, really good controller input to the point where you can even mess with your dead zones. I found out today that this joystick is a little drifty, so my character kept on like running to the right side of the screen is driving me nuts. So they actually let you mess with the dead zone of this joystick. So that did not continue to happen, and it works great. It runs at completely low on this device. It runs at medium on my cell, on my regular phone. But you can pick your server, and the character will travel between devices. So I can play it on here, my character. I can play it on there. I can play my character on PC. So it's a real, like, you can play it on anything and keep your character progression going. And it was good. That's the thing. Like, and I played it for 1 hour, and they didn't throw a microtransaction down my throat at all yet. So I'm not at that point where they're telling me to buy something yet. But like the fact that I didn't get through the first zone, and they're just like, buy this or buy this gold or the battle pass or something. Yeah, but like nothing yet at all. It's just been straight story, full dialogue too, substantial dialogue. And every character has their own voice. There's 6 classes to pick from. This is where you can say when this game was announced and they're like, oh, you guys got phones and stuff, and that meme kind of started. At least when it's launched, this is kind of making other mobile games look bad, in my opinion. So it's great. So definitely check that out. It's free. I'll tell you the server I'm running. And as soon as you get past the beginning intro, which doesn't take that long, the game essentially turns into an MMO. All the players who are playing on that server pop up in the town that you're in, so you can see them all running around. So we can all play co-op and stuff. So
cool.
Not bad.
I just not bad for it, so.
Not bad for a game playing on the crapper, right? Like, there's gonna be it'll be like, what are you doing what are you doing in there? It's like Diablo and avoiding the kids.
3 hours later.
Right? But okay. So yeah, no, that's what I've been pretty much doing this weekend. I'm right. I think, like, everyone says they feel like they're at the end of Elden Ring, but I'm at that fire giant at the top of the mountain, and I want to get to the end of the. Did you play that? I saw you were playing on PC. Like, how far did you get into that game, Tony?
I'm like, so I haven't beaten it yet. Unfortunately, that's the saddest part about it.
It's hard, man. No, well, it's long. It's long.
I'm like 70 hours in. I still not even close to beating it. I forget where I am. I'm at like the boss who summons 2 guys beside him. Forget his name. It's in like a castle.
Where are you on the map? Like, did you go through like the Misty Lake and stuff?
I believe so. Yeah, I haven't jumped into it in like a couple of weeks, but yeah, I'm like 70 hours in. I got to a point where I just kept dying and dying and dying. And my thing with Elden Ring right now is that it's an incredible game. It's like one of the most amazing games I've ever played. My issue is I need like 5 hours out of a time to sit down in order to progress any further than I am right now. And I have like an hour sit down to play games every night, maybe an hour and a half. And in that hour and a half, I'm just going to die 1,000 times and not progress at all. That's where I'm running into problems. So like I was talking to you before we started the show, the summer for me is just, I'm way more busy than I am during the winter. In Canada, you just hibernate and do nothing. But that's my issue right now with Elden Ring. But it's an incredible game. I want to beat it. One day I'll beat it. All my friends are making fun of me because I have like a bunch of friends who bought it. We all launched it on PC on day one, and they've all beaten it, and I'm just the last guy there straggling in the back trying to get through.
We're all like Elden Lords, and they're just laughing. They're like, oh.
Yeah. So I'm not a real gamer yet, of course. So hopefully I'll be a real gamer.
Yeah, that's all right. We're there with you.
Yeah. Although I did beat Dark Souls, so I guess I'm like half a gamer.
Okay. Well, so this is our first Souls game. How does it? Have you played it on your Steam Deck?
I did. Yeah, it runs great. Really good. I mean, you put it on medium or like low. Yeah, it's not going to be the highest resolution. Everything's not going to look as good. I mean, the game itself, realistically, even when it's on high, isn't the best looking game, but it's good enough. But it runs great. And you can see all like the stats on Steam Deck. Like I was saying, you can just hit a button. It's super easy, and you can see everything like frame rate and all of everything that's going on within the console itself, and it runs great. Like you can get like 40, 45 FPS, I would say, which is good.
On a handheld,
yeah.
Like, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's
I have
pretty
to
incredible.
treat myself, you know.
Man, I was
like
I was blown away when I first got it and I started using it and started playing games and just seeing like, remember like when we were growing up, we were playing Game Boy Advance,
Game Gear and stuff.
Game Gear, right? And like now we're playing literally full AAA games in the palm of our hands. It's just it's crazy.
Yeah.
What's Nintendo gonna do though for their next because obviously, in my opinion, Nintendo just needs to continue on what they do. They found their final form in like format. It blends their home console and their handheld and their like stupid motion controls. So I feel like they just need to like the Switch is the Nintendo product in its final form. So they just need to make that better. But man, how do you compete? Like, these things are so powerful. And now there's that other like company like Neo.
Aya Neo or something.
Aya Neo, and they're making another one that's going to be like $399. That's going to run a Ryzen chip in it still. Like, dang, and it's going to have an OLED screen on it. Like, what?
Yeah, they're going to have to do
full
something.
Windows.
They're going to have to do something.
The most amazing feat is making the battery last.
Yeah, that's a great point, because one thing I do have to say, one of the best things about using Xbox Cloud Gaming, you can use Steam Deck for like 5, 6, 7 hours. But if you're playing Elden Ring, you maybe get an hour and a half, 2 hours before it's dead. So,
Oof, okay, that's better.
Yeah. I was just so hyped I forgot to mention probably the big negative of it right now, which is the battery life.
That's all right though. I mean, like there's plugs everywhere. Like I said, like batteries are still an issue. I mean, like even for electric cars and everything, like they're going farther and farther, but they're still taking time to develop that like battery technology that we're looking for.
Yeah, right? Man, so, the Lucid Air I think goes like 800 miles. So it's pretty crazy these days. But let's kind of crack into the show, because we got a lot of predictions to kind of get to on the tail end of this. But I want to kind of talk about a couple of the announcements they did already. So I feel like we're kind of getting into the start of announcement seasons. We actually had 2 big announcements already. One, we're finally actually starting to see gameplay. We saw a trailer for a while, but Sonic Frontiers finally got its first gameplay shown off by IGN. They're doing their big IGN first for June, and it's going to be Sonic Frontiers. And it looks like it's going to be going open world. And considering the success of the Sonic movies, and even my son and my daughter are running around talking about Sonic and stuff these days, I feel like this game has a huge opportunity for Sega to kind of bring back the blue blur, right? And what did you guys think of this gameplay reveal, Tony?
I first looked at it. My first initial reaction, my completely honest first thing I thought was
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, well, not Breath of the Wild, but I was actually blown away just by the open world, the traversal, all that type of stuff. And it looked like it would just be a ton of fun, right? Like you're just running nonstop, grinding random stuff, going up these large towers, and just the fast-paced movement of Sonic, I think in an open world game would be awesome. But then I kept watching it. I watched it a couple more times. Sorry?
A lot of the classic sounds.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. And I watched it a couple more times, and I'm still very excited for it. I think it does look great. It looks a little bit like it's very much in pre-production right now. Like the world looks bare. It actually reminded me of Halo a little bit with the aesthetic of it, of the world and stuff, like Halo Infinite, just the way that like the grass and the rocks and all that type of stuff. But I think there's a huge opportunity here for Sega, for Sonic, because as you know, like with Sonic games, they're kind of hit and miss, right? The last couple of games, like Sonic Forces, I played through it. I had a fun time with it, but it's a very mediocre game. Like Sonic Generations was a really fun game. Sonic
Fantastic.
was a really fun game. But
Generations was so good.
Yeah,
Like,
incredible.
The fact that they didn't do Generations 2 was like like you guys nailed it so well with Generations. Like you should have did Generations 2.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Sonic Colors on the Wii, they released that like remaster of it. I played through that. I had a good time. But there hasn't been like that premier Sonic game that everybody's talking about that puts it back on the map. And now with the movies, it's like the perfect opportunity for this to happen. And I think Sonic Frontiers can be that. I just think like, I hope they don't screw this up. I feel like the biggest complaint people are going to have is when they look at this trailer is going to be like the emptiness of the world. But I thought overall, I was excited when I saw it. Like I want to play this game, and I hope they take their time, and I hope it comes out in good quality.
Yeah, there was this shot at the beginning of the demo where he's like standing on the high point, and you see in the distance, and it looks like just like lines of the ramps and stuff kind of just floating in the sky, and didn't look that great.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying the aesthetic. What the aesthetic actually reminds me of, did you ever play Phantasy Star Online New Genesis?
I dabbled in it.
It kind of looked like that, actually. It reminded me of that engine. I don't know what graphics engine they're using, but kind of reminded me of the New Genesis engine. And it reminded me of those Unreal tech demos they always showed of people just making fan-made Sonic games. But Dan, what do you think of the gameplay show they showed off?
Yeah, I very much agree with you. Like, it was a weirdly barren. Yeah, like I understand. I don't know. It kind of felt like the latest Pokemon release. It was just like they were advertising it and everything, but it was like, yeah, the graphics were very much not quite up to par. Like Halo kind of had the same issue. Like when they had first released some footage, it was just like, yeah, it wasn't quite next gen or anything. There wasn't a lot of substance in there. Like it looks like fun. Like I'm excited to try it because like, yeah, I remember playing like Sega from when I was really little, having stickers all over my console and everything, and just playing all those different games. My brother always made me play Tails, but
yeah,
but it was awesome. And like watching the movies with my kids and everything, like I hope it's good so I can grab that and play it with the kids and everything.
My fear is how are they going to do this as an open world game? Because like if you take some of the Sonic levels and like stretch them out, especially the 3D, you're like going across this huge like space.
Yeah.
And I felt like when I was watching this, it looked like you're just kind of like going up towers and stuff like that, and maybe like across to another tower. I'm curious if there's going to be moments in this game where it does turn into almost like a linear Sonic level that almost like maybe how Breath of the Wild used shrines. So like have like an entrance that makes it its own like underground almost dungeon that's more like a Sonic game. But a question I have for you guys is, considering Microsoft has such a good partnership with Sega, and there's a very bare holiday coming up, and apparently this game is coming out this year, which I actually wouldn't be surprised if this game does get delayed, considering the kind of state it's in. Do we think this would be a good deal for Game Pass, potentially?
It's always a good deal for Game Pass because
it's always a good deal for Game Pass. But do you think it would fit for, especially to kind of, a lot of people complain about there's not something for kids to play on Game Pass? I feel like that would almost feel like
Microsoft would have to spend a lot to entice them to do that. Like with the success of the movies that has been happening and everything, like I think they'd really want to go it like on their own first and try and get those actual sales, and then probably do a deal with Game Pass like 6 months down the line or a year down the line or something and release it on there.
Yeah, potentially. I think it would be it would definitely fill a gap this holiday. And I feel like they should throw maybe a bit of a bag at them to get it, considering how big Sonic is, especially now. But Tony, Game Pass, what do you think? Does it have potential, you think?
Yeah, I mean, of course, if this game let's say June 12th, they announced this is coming day one of Game Pass, it would be huge, right? Everyone would be talking about it. Everyone would be excited for it. But you guys I agree with you guys. You make great points on right now because of the movies. It probably would be the most expensive time to try to get this game onto Game Pass. And Sega knows they can release this game. It can come out and get 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. It's going to sell like insanely over the holiday season. Every kid's going to want this game, right? So they don't really have too much risk, I would say, right now for this game with like how hyped Sonic is. But yeah, if it came on the Game Pass, I think it would be perfect just with their overall relationship, with the partnership. It just makes a ton of sense. And going back to what you were saying, I was just thinking about this with the traversal. I think the key thing for Sonic Frontiers would be like, if you could, like, it's a big open world. It's like, if you could somehow make it that Sonic can literally traverse from one end to the other, like nonstop. If they could somehow make a world like that, it would be absolutely perfect. I think like that would make the game. It would fill the world and everything. I think it would be so much fun.
Yeah, if they can get that like constant momentum from going one side of the map to the other.
Yeah.
Also, I hope there's more than just that biome. I think that's one thing that hurt Halo was it was just that like Western, Northern Canada, pine forest. Like that's all it was. But
I mean, potentially with the speed of the game, now that I think about it, if they're planning on moving you that quick across the map and everything, that might even just be the reason that we're seeing such like a barren close-up state. It's like, no, don't stop. Keep moving, keep doing stuff. And like, who knows? The map could just be massive. And like, it's just like that so that you can travel like crazy around the map.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Sunset Overdrive in a sense where that game, you were never really supposed to hit the ground. You could, but then you'd barely be moving. And it was all grinding and stuff like that.
With the release of the movies and the overall look of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles in the movie, I feel like it would be a great opportunity to have a skin for Sonic of the movie skin. And I'd probably rock the movie skin because I like the kind of more realistic look to him.
Did you see the Chip and Dale movie yet?
No, it's on Disney Plus. I want to watch that, but I heard Ugly Sonic from the reject CGI Sonic is like,
and they're like, they're at like a Comic-Con or like a convention and everything, and like Ugly Sonic's there with a big label above him that calls him Ugly Sonic, and he just rolls with that. He's like, no, it's still cool, and he's like smoking and stuff. It's weird. It's funny.
Do you think they'll bring in other characters like Knuckles or Tails into this? Like, I could see Tails flying around the world being pretty fun.
Yeah. If not as like playable characters, then at least like we'll see them coming in and out. Like, you're jumping over an extra wide canyon or something, like Tails swoops in and grabs your hands and carries you across or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely want to see some of the other characters because I'm a fan of like, you can say the extended cast, maybe not so much, but I love seeing Knuckles and Tails come into the movies and stuff like that.
Do you see the after credits scene in the second movie?
With Shadow. Yeah,
Shadow's coming. Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
That's gonna be cool. I wonder how the director said he has a good feeling they can get Jim Carrey back for Robotnik. So, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy when they're like, but millions of dollars,
like, well,
and you're just on a green screen. Like, I don't like rewatching the second movie. I'm like, did he even meet any of the actors? Like, I feel like he was not on set with the other actors at all.
Just in a motion capture room, like 90% of the time.
Yeah, like in a green screen room, just like because you can watch it and be like, I feel like he was only in that the cafe scene with that one guy, and that's it, and the rest is just like no one else. But overall, I'm looking forward to seeing what else IGN has to say about it, considering they have a full month of coverage on it. We kind of got 15 minutes today. So I look forward to seeing more. And if they can announce halfway through the month that it's coming to Game Pass, I think that would be pretty hype for this holiday season. But speaking of another hype game and something that got announced, so like I said, we're kind of in this stage right now where we're going to get bombarded with game announcements. But we finally got the first look at Star Wars Jedi Survive. The end is going to be next gen only, continuing the story of, I think his name's Cal or something. Cal from the first game. And there is rumor that it could have some tie into the Obi-Wan TV show.
That would be cool.
Did Tony, did you finish the first game? What did you think of the announcement here?
Yeah, I finished the first one. I'm going to brag. I finished it on the hardest difficulty, so I'm a true Master Jedi.
I started it on the hardest difficulty, and I did not get very far.
And I loved it. I absolutely loved the game. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was finally a great entry into the Star Wars video game series because, with EA and stuff, they had Battlefront, and that was okay. And then Respawn took over. I was happy because I think Respawn overall as a developer, they've hit on literally everything they've made with Titanfall, with Apex, and then this. But yeah, I saw the trailer. I'm super excited for it. It wasn't like they didn't show off too much, but if you played Fallen Order, the ending and everything, there was some pretty big scenes there. So I'm excited to expand on it. Pretty much. I can't.
Dope.
Yeah,
God,
it was really awesome.
When that one character comes in at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most people have played it, but in case they haven't.
In case they haven't. Sorry, Dan.
For shame. Yeah.
I thought it was just as good as that other scene in that one spin-off Star Wars movie. That's the most I'll say. But what do you think about it potentially tying into the Obi-Wan TV show? Like, Dan, would that entice you to go back and beat the first one, Fallen Order?
Especially now that you go and play it. Yeah, once I complete Elden Ring too, and I can get past some of my other stuff, because I'm having, there's so many other games that I keep, I pushed it off just because I needed that space on the console. And that's the only reason I haven't downloaded it just yet again, is my Xbox is just constantly full of games.
Yeah, for real. But I think it would be really interesting tying into the Obi-Wan TV show specifically, considering he's like a remnant from the massacre that happened at the academy there from Anakin. And I wonder if he'll show up in just an episode, considering he is an actor. It is an actor. He is on a ton of TV shows. I feel like they chose him for a reason, because they potentially want him to be tied into the greater picture. But I think it would be super cool the first time seeing the live action and the TV and the video games world kind of combining together and really acknowledging it themselves, saying that this game is just as important as any one of our TV shows or movies. But I think the impact of that first game did that exactly, and really showed the people at Disney and the people who are helming up the Star Wars franchise that maybe we should actually tie the game into maybe one of our live action properties to, one, boost sales there, gets people excited for the game, but also maybe gets people to sign up for Disney Plus and check out our TV shows who are fans of the game, but not necessarily fans of the actual shows itself. But what do you guys think they can bring to the table with it being next gen only? Tony, what do you think with, and they specifically said they are going next gen only. It feels like they were using that almost like a bragging point.
Yeah, I mean the obvious things, better resolutions, better frame rates. But I think the biggest thing of all is they're going to be able to get this game out probably sooner rather than later than what they want. Yeah, because I feel like the cross-gen stuff games get held back so much because they're just trying to optimize it for an Xbox One or a PS4.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the biggest thing that we'll get. But again, bigger worlds, faster loading, frame rates,
Yeah.
all the good stuff that comes with these consoles.
I want to see interesting AI, more animation.
Yeah.
Considering they have so much more memory to work with. I want those boss fights to be like Elden Ring. I want to see something. I want to fight a Rancor, or like a Rancor. I want very interesting things like that. I want to have moments where you're almost like flying through the game world, these crazy big maps. I want to feel like Elden Ring nailed it, where you see something in the distance, but you can actually go there.
Yeah.
I want to have like a journey like that in this game. Maybe not so much, obviously, make it like a full open world like Elden Ring. You'll obviously be planet hopping. But this game is clearly going to be an open world Metroidvania like the other ones. But how big they're going to do that? And I'm curious if they're going to add like more RPG elements to it, like a town you can go to, maybe a resistance Jedi camp that you can build over time. I feel like they have an opportunity to add a lot of stuff like that with the next gen only capabilities, because they're not held back, right?
Yeah.
By these old mobile processors. And it's Unreal 5, right? Dan? I think so, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The first game ran Unreal Engine, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing Unreal 5 on this.
They should.
But yeah, Dan, you definitely got to get to the first one. So I'm really excited to see that this is going to be a continued franchise for them, and that it shows that single player games are not dead yet.
Yeah, that was the thing with Star Wars, right? When EA got it, they were just like, we got to just keep putting out Battlefront multiplayer.
Yeah, right?
They finally decided to get this.
I feel like the industry was in this weird moment where it's just like, we have to be like live service, everything.
Yeah.
I feel like every industry has these like weird like growth moments where they go through like, we all want to be one thing. Okay, we didn't lose you, Dan.
Oh, no. Cat was just getting a little aggressive with the box, so I was moving the box for
it. I feel like every industry kind of goes through these like, let everyone do motion controls, everyone do this, everyone do battle royale.
Yeah, and didn't EA, like, I'm pretty sure back in, I don't know what year it was, maybe like 2016, 2017, weren't they ones that came out and said that the single player games were dead, nobody wanted to play them or something like that?
And then they sell like millions and millions of copies of Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I feel like it took a person like Vincent Paletta to like kind of bust through the doors and just be like, yeah, shut the fuck up. I know what gamers actually want. And oh, look, it sold. Shocker.
You look at a game like Elden Ring too, right? Like,
yeah,
like one of the great best-selling games.
Yeah, it's probably like almost at like 20 million copies by now. So
yeah,
but exciting. Jedi Survive. So it feels like they are continuing with that Jedi name for it. So I wonder if we'll get more. Like, wasn't there already like a Star Wars like Jedi franchise? Well, yeah, like Star Wars Jedi, and then it was like something like that.
Yeah, it was. Pretty sure it was Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, there was like 3 of them. Yeah, or Jedi Academy. Yeah. Jedi Academy was one of them. Jedi Outcast.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of those. Those are great. Okay, so I take it we're all pretty excited for that, and it will be coming probably to EA Play probably like a year after, so it will be on Game Pass at some point. So that will be
a good point.
Yeah, so I will be waiting for all the patches and all that. So right, it's an EA game. You got to be careful. So it's like wait 6 months. It'll probably be delayed 6 months. That game's, what did they say, comes out in like early next year or something like that, or was there a date attached to it? I don't know.
I forget. I don't know if there was a date, but I would say probably like, it's just at the end of the trailer coming 2023. So
Okay.
End of 2023, I'd assume.
Most likely.
Yeah.
All right. So just a couple fly-through subjects. We'll kind of just, because there's a lot more than just the Xbox showcase happening this month. We're also getting the PlayStation State of Play, and we're also getting Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. They actually showed off a list of the companies that would be part of Summer Game Fest today, and surprisingly, there's Netflix on that list. But I kind of want to talk about the PlayStation Showcase and what we kind of want out of that showcase. So I'm going to start with you, Tony. What would you want out of... Is the showcase tomorrow night?
It is tomorrow. I think 6 p.m. Eastern or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and post this in the morning tomorrow. Yeah. So what do you want out of that PlayStation showcase?
Well, we know it's already third-party stuff only, and VR. So the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that I do want information of will be Final Fantasy 16. Like maybe they'll give a release date because we know that's a console exclusive, and whatever. Maybe Street Fighter 6. I feel like they're going to show off Street Fighter 6 at some point and give a release date for that at some point during Summer Games Fest. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened during the PlayStation Showcase. My only caveat to that is I just really hope this isn't another timed or locked console exclusive to PlayStation.
Locked, yeah.
Yeah, because Street Fighter 5 was so...
Yeah, I couldn't believe Street Fighter 5 was a full locked... And I think there was even in the clause, you couldn't even do like Super Street Fighter 5 Ultimate Championship Edition, like after the fact or anything like that. It was just like lock, and that totally killed the game.
Yeah,
like and surprisingly, it totally killed the game for it.
And I'm gonna admit, I bought that game day one on PS4, and it was such a bare bones, just bad Street Fighter when it first came out too. So. I just hope they don't screw it up again with Street Fighter 6, at least at launch, and that it comes out multi-platform. We'll see, though, because they showed it off their first announcement of it. I believe Capcom just announced it, right? And they didn't say any of the platforms that it was coming to, which is always kind of a weird thing. I don't know why you wouldn't just let people know where the game's coming out on, but...
Yeah.
Other than that, VR stuff should be cool. I mean, PSVR 2, from what we've heard about so far, from what they've talked about, looks like it's going to be a huge step up from the first PSVR. So I'm actually pretty excited to see the advancement in their VR and
their
what games and what games they're going to be releasing on that, because that's like I had the first PSVR. I used it maybe 12 times, 13 times, 14 times, I don't know. Not that many times. Let's just put it that way. And it was cool. You jumped into it. It was cool. But there was like that screen door effect that really, I think, took away from a lot of the immersion from it. And like the field of view was crappy. So I hope the PSVR 2, which I'm assuming will be way better because we're many years after the release of the first one. I'm excited to see what they have going for that.
Yeah. And man, I feel like it's almost risky to talk about PSVR 2. Especially right now, because you can't even buy a PlayStation 5. Yeah. So I feel like what they need to do is when they announce PlayStation VR 2, that it's compatible with PC at the same time. Mm-hmm. Because be compatible with PC. The fact that it's not wireless is just another thing that blows my mind too.
Yeah.
How is the thing not wireless?
I feel like it's, well, I guess the first PSVR was still pretty expensive, but it was less expensive than like the higher end VR headsets, right? So I think their market strategy is that middle of the road type of headset. So maybe I don't know.
So, what about yourself, Dan? I know we're not I know we're not a PlayStation podcast, but usually we get some good announcements for Xbox out of it too.
Right. I'm at the very least, I'm really excited to see what they do with the PSVR 2, because it just means more people on VR for me. So
it'll all be coming to PC, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like optimizing like games and stuff for like consoles and whatever can help with optimizing the games for slower computers like mine and everything. So I don't have to upgrade for as long.
Yeah, right.
And so, like, yeah, hopefully just like, yeah, the PSVR is really good. Like, I have an original Oculus Rift, so I'm pretty far behind on the generations and everything. So I know they've dealt with a lot more of the screen door effect and everything. You get a much finer, like, screen and everything, higher density,
It's
like
4K.
pixel density. Yeah. But, I mean, at the same time, like, yeah, as long as you can run that on the console, I think it'll be a nice standard to go for. Because one of the advantages of that is you don't have to deal with like multiple platforms and everything. And now with the PlayStation 5 being as powerful as it is, and if it succeeds really well, then Xbox and Microsoft are going to take a second look at what they're going to do for VR.
I'd be shocked if it comes out this year because no one can buy a PlayStation 5 still. But I guess you got to get it out as quick as possible and as early as possible in a generation if you want it to be something
PSVR
that
too.
Yeah.
And then when the console comes out, you buy that after.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing I'm thinking about with that is the people who bought a PS5 at launch or who are wanting a PS5 as soon as they come out probably are more likely to buy a PSVR as well, right? Whereas you have people who are waiting further on in the generation, waiting on a sale of PS5 probably aren't as likely to. So maybe that's why they'd want to get it out too. But who knows? I
think you'll probably get a lot of those people even at like holiday sales and everything too, depending on if it comes out early enough, like how soon they're bringing it out.
Yeah.
At the very least, like if not this year, then next year sort of thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Considering they just had a call where they talked about their aspirations being more multi-platform and more PC, and then there's rumors of them possibly doing their own PC launcher, which a PC launcher makes 100% sense for them. They can integrate PlayStation Network into it, PlayStation trophies. They can have their own store, take all the profits from it, instead of sharing with Steam or Epic Game Store, but still put their games on there. But say, hey, if you buy them through our store, you get trophy integration. You get, your PlayStation Network friends list in there, stuff like that.
You think it'll be awkward when you have to download the PlayStation Network store through the Microsoft store?
Microsoft store? Yeah, right. No, they'll be like, never. It's on our website.
Fanboys are uninstalling Windows.
Installer. Yeah.
It doesn't even work on Edge browser.
Yeah.
You have to download Chrome for it. Yeah. But I think they have a good opportunity to kind of speak to their PC crowd at the State of Play for VR especially. I feel like VR is a good a product that would bridge that in between PC and PlayStation. So I hope they announce one thing. I hope they announce there is PlayStation Home as their like VR interface. Wouldn't that be so cool? Yeah,
that was the PS3 thing, right? Like the living.
Yeah. I remember they did a pretty good job. They did a trademark. Yeah, they did even a recent trademark for it. But like, imagine PlayStation Home comes back, and next year's State of Play is in PlayStation Home in your VR headset, and you're like in the crowd. Yeah. Watching like the huge screen and the huge announcement and a hologram of Jim Ryan on stage and stuff like that. Like,
a little scary. So cool, I think. A little scary with Jim Ryan as a hologram.
Yeah, right. But no, I look forward to the PlayStation event. Do you think we'll get a date for God of War? No?
I don't think so.
Do you think it's going to get delayed, actually?
I don't think it's going to get delayed. I just think that if there is a date for God of War, it's not going to be at PlayStation's event tomorrow. It's going to be later on. They're going to have their own showcase, literally just saying, here's God of War, here's more information about it, this is when it's coming out. Just because because they've already said about tomorrow, that's literally just third party and PSVR, unless they just go off the script and say, at the very end.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, I would actually probably see, and this can lead right into our next conversation. I could see them, because they were part of the list of people that are going to be part of the Summer Game Fest coming up on June on June 9th. So I could see PlayStation showing up and doing the announcement trailer and the date for watch. It's going to be on 11/11/11 or 11/11/22, like Starfield was supposed to go. That'd be such.
It would be a great troll. I'm not gonna lie.
That'd be a great troll.
I'd laugh at it, and I'd make some sarcastic tweets for like a couple days and just make good jokes about it. But yeah,
you've been having some spicy tweets.
Yeah, it's just Twitter is not a place for real conversation. It's a place for just
for insiders.
Yeah, for insiders. It's crazy, man. Going through Twitter sometimes, my mind. I don't know. I feel like I read Twitter and I'm like, I come out, I turn off the app. I'm like, wow, I'm really a smart human being. But then in my regular life, I'm like, I'm not that smart. I'm just a regular person. But then I read some of the things people say on Twitter.
It's outrageous. All right. Well, let's get into Summer Game Fest. Dan, I want to start with you. What do you think you'll see? Do you think we'll get any big announcement out of Summer Game Fest? Mind you, we got the huge trailer for Elden Ring last year. And Jeff Keighley tends to get some major players out. Do you think we'll get any surprise announcements from third party?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure there's got to be something decent coming out for the whole Game Fest. Like
Kojima coming out.
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, get like Death Stranding 2. That'd be awesome. I don't know. It's I don't know. Probably an Elden Ring expansion or something like that.
I would hope so. Like, I feel like they can keep that Elden Ring high going that they had last year when they showed off the big trailer for it. And I would personally be super hyped to see an expansion, just to be like, I'm not even done the game, but knowing that there's some like crazy thing coming up.
Just let you know, there's another alternate ending. Nobody knows about.
Yeah, for real, right? Or another wall that takes 1,000 hits to disappear. I can't believe that was a real thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's that out.
How does someone figure that out is what I want to know.
Right?
Like that's all I want.
They're just like, fuck this wall. I hate this wall.
Yeah,
and like and how long does it take to hit the wall 1,000 times? Like how long were they sitting there just like, I know this is a secret wall?
Yeah, how much do you hate yourself to do that too? Right? Like, I'm curious if they like glitched through it a second and they're just like, I saw something behind it. I know there's something behind you.
Move the camera in just the right way.
Yeah, and what if the wall didn't open up, but he still be there today hitting the wall, thinking he was going to open up? That's the other question.
He's just got a tally going, just like, all right, 6,606,000.
But Tony, any big announcements you hope for at the Summer Game Fest? They're usually not part of the big Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah, so they have a huge partner lineup, which I was excited to see. Surprised as well, because you heard some of the stuff that Jeff Keighley was talking about and pretty much just trying to get people to understand it's not going to be as big as other years. But I feel like, looking at the partners, this like Bloober team, I feel like they're going to show off the Silent Hill stuff that they're working on. I think there's Activision in there. Maybe they'll show Warzone 2. That would be I think that alone would be a massive announcement for a ton of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, it's like when they put in the partners thing, like PlayStation and Xbox, I'm not sure if that means that they're going to have announcements from them at the Summer Games Fest show, or if that just means that they're just a part of the show with their own shows. So it'll be interesting to see if Xbox and PlayStation themselves have some like Game Pass announcements or some, I don't know, games coming, some timed exclusivity for PlayStation.
I feel like it hurt them last year, because remember last year they held back some Halo information for Summer Games Fest, and their Summer Game Fest came after their showcase. So I feel like the fact that Summer Game Fest is a couple days before Xbox's showcase, they could have a bit of a hyped announcement at Summer Game Fest leading into their showcase. So that's what I'm really hoping for. we get some cool announcement from Microsoft at the showcase to kind of get us hyped for their show coming up after that. But, you never know. We could maybe get Norman Reedus on stage with Hideo Kojima. Maybe, possibly.
I know.
You never know. They could talk about maybe that mysterious cloud project they're working on. So Jeff Keighley usually can pull something out.
Yeah, that's like such a mystery because that's been in the rumors for like almost 2 years now, or a year and a half. We haven't heard anything about it. And then we're hearing now rumors about Death Stranding 2 and is he working on 2 games or what? Like we'll see.
We will see. But overall, excited for those 2 shows. But yeah, those are the PlayStation ones on the 2nd of June and the showcases on the 9th. And the Xbox showcase is on the 12th, right?
Yep. That's
the 12th?
Yeah. And there's some shows scattered in between there as well, like the Future Game Show and another random one.
Yeah, and Sega's going to be showing off something too.
They said. Oh, yeah, that's I think that's on the 3rd. It's on the 3rd.
Which makes me think it might be something not Sonic related because IGN's kind of doing that. So that's going to be, like I said, we have a huge month ahead of us. But now we are at the prediction portion of our podcast. I'm not going to keep you all night, Tony. So now that we're kind of going to talk about the Xbox showcase, we're going to give, what I like to do is kind of give our predictions. Can be crazy predictions, can be whatever, but I like to have fun with it at this point. We did this last year for our first episode, actually. So I'm glad that they decided to do something in June, because as soon as they were like, oh, E3's canceled, I was like, oh shit, like that was going to be our prediction episode. So I'm glad they were doing the showcase, and I'm glad you're able to join us for it. So what we're going to do is we are going to bring 4 predictions to the table each. We're going to go one at a time. So I'm going to start, and then I'm going to go to Dan, and then we're going to end with Tony and kind of loop through that, have just like a little quick conversation of the prediction itself, get our thoughts of it, and conclude the show and, get to bed on time. Thank God I don't have work tomorrow. So today's my Saturday. But so let's start. So I'll start with the first one. So I'm very excited for the showcase coming up this year, and I think we're going to get some nostalgia because, playing on people's nostalgia is always the right thing to do, especially with video games. And look at the world we're in with Obi-Wan. Star Trek is back in a big way, so nostalgia is in. And people always say there's something missing in Game Pass. Not enough kids' games in Game Pass. And I haven't really heard anything, a company called Playtonic, a bunch of people who did the original Banjo-Kazooie games from Rare. I have a feeling that they are actually working on a partnership with Microsoft to make Banjo-Kazooie 3, an actual legitimate sequel to the original game. And it's going to be ready a lot quicker than we think. But I think we're going to get a trailer I think we're going to get the return of Banjo-Kazooie. So what do you think? Do you think that is a likely get, possibly?
I hope.
Yeah. Like, do you know Playtonic?
Yeah, the ukulele guys?
Yeah, ukulele people.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything that they're making right now.
I mean, I hope it seems like such an obvious thing for Xbox to do, and they just continuously don't do it. I mean, everyone wants Banjo-Kazooie. They could announce it and pretty much end the show, and people would still be somewhat satisfied if they just release a new Banjo-Kazooie, right? And it's like, this is a great opportunity. Everyone wants it. It's a great mascot, and there's so many developers.
The old ones on Game Pass.
Yeah, the old ones on Game Pass.
I've been playing through that with my kids. It's fun. Like, why not?
Yeah. I think I might be wrong, but I think they might have said that they might be working on ukulele too. But I feel like They haven't shown off anything. They could be lying. The game industry. I feel like Microsoft has a good opportunity to team up with Playtonic to make a legit Banjo-Kazooie 3, and I think that would be really, really cool. So that's my first prediction. That's my kind of pie in the sky prediction. And I think it's possible. I feel like now is the time to give a little tease. If it's not by Playtonic, by somebody. So, all right, Dan, what about you? Your first prediction of the night?
I think we're going to hear some more stuff about Fable, like the release date. Hopefully, see some in-game footage or something. Like other than, I don't know, was that like trailer they did? That was just like trailer footage, not.
No, that was like CGI. It was just like hey, we're
CGI.
making Funkin'.
Yeah, I mean, like with Unreal Engine and everything, and all the stuff they've been doing, like anything's possible, I guess. But
well,
yeah,
I
hope
they're using their own engine for it.
Yeah.
So it'd be the Forza engine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Forza
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
driving around some Fable cars.
Yeah, right. I'm curious if they'll bring in like a horse and buggy to the game, just because they have like a driving mechanic built into their engine.
Like a sort of like steampunky, like magic powered car or something.
Yeah, that'd be
That
cool.
would be awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. So you think we're gonna get a gameplay trailer and a release date for Fable? Okay.
I hope so. Yeah, I think I'd be super excited to see that coming in.
What do you think, Tony? You think we're getting some information on that?
Tough, because we know this game's been in development since 2018.
Forever.
Yeah. So you think by now they'd have something to show off, but then I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the recent rumors and the recent stuff going around about the Fable and all that, whatever, right? But
they said they were having engine troubles, so they limited the scope of the game. But like, how much can we really read into that, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I think with Fable, it's like another one of those games that you definitely don't want the Halo Infinite effect. You don't want to show it off too early where people are going to complain.
Mm-hmm.
But then as a fan of the series, you're like, it's been in development for 4 years and you have nothing to show for it yet. So it's got a little bit concerning, but we'll see. I don't think they're going to show off anything for Fable. If you're asking me what my opinion is on that, I don't think so. I don't think they will, but fingers crossed.
I hope. It's funny. I've said to my wife almost like every time they've announced a showcase, I'm like, I think they're going to show Fable. I have a feeling. She's like, you've been wrong every single time. Like, I don't even believe you. Like, I'm not even gonna.
I mean,
times the charm.
Yeah. Let's hope. The fifth time's the charm for this one at least. But there was remember that Game Pass, was it Game Pass Twitter kind of did that weird chicken tweet out, so I don't know, maybe we'll get a remastered or something.
That's what people were saying that was for, and that would be cool if they gave us like a remaster of the trilogy, right? I'll play it.
Well, not? The second one is considered to be one of the best, is the best Fable, and we haven't gotten a remastered, but we got a remaster of the first one, so I think the second one at least deserves it for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
But Tony, what is your first prediction?
Okay, so my first prediction is going to be kind of off the board. I think we're going to get an announcement for Persona coming to Game Pass. And
Game Pass specifically?
Yeah, I think we're going to get an announcement. We're going to be able to play Game Pass in June, or play Game Pass. We can play Game Pass whenever you want. Play Persona in June. And the reason I say this is because we've been seeing like surveys from Atlas going around asking people if they want. Yeah, and Soul Hackers 2 is coming out on Xbox. So I feel like they're starting to dabble back into Xbox. They know that there is an audience out there, especially with Game Pass in Japan and all that type of stuff. So I feel like we're finally going to get Persona on Xbox and on Game Pass.
Yeah, especially if Microsoft announced, because they said their broader aspiration is to allow every game you purchase to be cloud streamable. So if Soul Hackers can be part of that initial wave, essentially turning their game into a mobile game and kind of giving them access to all that. Plus, it's been outselling the PlayStation in Japan, right? the Series S model specifically.
Series S is selling very, very well.
Yeah. So I think the Persona we could get. Yeah, I have a good feeling about Persona, but then again, I had a good feeling about Final Fantasy 14, the MMO, coming to console finally, but that's never going to happen. All right. So Persona, console, Game Pass specifically. I like it. Well, mine is kind of similar to that. I think Final Fantasy VII Remake will finally be announced for Xbox, and it will be announcing on Game Pass immediately. I think it will be actually on Game Pass on the last half of June. Game Pass releases. Personally, that is a pie in the sky dream. I don't know why the only reason I feel like it could be a possibility is because we just have heard nothing. Like, it's so weird that the fact that a Final Fantasy VII Remake, one of the biggest Final Fantasy games, and it's just a single player game, only had a 1-year exclusivity. Clearly Sony extended it, but it can't be extended forever, right? And I feel like Game Pass would be a great boost for it, because they'll probably be announcing Part 2 soon enough. And Part 2 won't be coming directly out first on Xbox at all. But I feel like it's a good way to kind of almost market a PlayStation 5 for them. What do you think? Do you think that is too ambitious for it to immediately drop on Game Pass at the end of the month? But I feel like it's ready.
I think that would be a great answer, and I actually agree with you. I think that could definitely happen on June 12th. I feel like there was some info today which I saw before we got into the show, and apparently Final Fantasy VII Remake is no longer being listed as a PlayStation console exclusive in the PlayStation Store. So people are guessing that 1 year from June 10th was when FF7 Integrate had been out on PlayStation. Okay. So they're thinking that that's when the exclusivity ends, which means that it gives Xbox the opportunity on June 12th to announce it for Xbox. And I mean, we've seen it like we've seen the old Final Fantasy games. Square Enix does put their games on Game Pass. So honestly, I think that's a great prediction, and I wouldn't be shocked if they do actually announce that and you can play it right away. I mean, why not?
Yeah, like an immediate last half of June launch. And I think that would be a great get because one, it would be a day one release. Two, it's an anticipated game, and we'd probably get the best version of it, right? Like 2 years after the fact, it'll be running great. We'll have the Series X and S version of it. So
the sales must be doing too, right? So now is a great time for Square Enix to get in.
Also, yeah, and it brings everyone back to the forefront of Final Fantasy, and we'll get people hyped for Final Fantasy Part 2 of that. And that will just show that, Part 2 will eventually be coming to Xbox just like Part 1 did. So I hope, they get rid of the exclusivity for Part 2, but that's not going to happen. I have a feeling Microsoft might even be purchasing Square at one point, maybe in the future. But that is my second prediction. Dan, what about yours? Second prediction?
Hoping we'll see some footage of Perfect Dark. Might actually get like a trailer or something, and actually see what's going on. I'm excited.
Trailer, but do you think it'll be like another CGI trailer or actual like gameplay?
I'm hoping like gameplay and everything, and they actually show what they're going to be introducing. Maybe even like a little. Like mini documentary series would be awesome. Like not necessarily like a whole series, but at least like a quick rundown of what they've been doing with the game and what they're hoping to introduce and how you're going to play it.
Show some confidence in it, because I feel like considering it's going to be developed by Crystal Dynamics more instead of the Initiative, and some people have left here. The Initiative team has shrunken since then. I feel like there was a lot of expectations for this studio when they first got announced based off of some job listings they did, saying they were quadruple A studio, not announcing that they're a quadruple A studio, but saying in their job listing, kind of enticing high profile developers over. But I feel like, yes, Perfect Dark, if there's one game, I'd say even over Fable that needs to be shown off is Perfect Dark, because of just, they're the new kids on the block for a studio. They're a studio that is made from the ground up from Microsoft in association with another studio to kind of ease people's tension towards Perfect Dark, you can say. I feel like it needs to be shown off. But Tony, what do you think? Perfect Dark, our chances
of it being shown off?
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to say I don't think it's going to be shown off. Yeah. I don't think there's a chance it's going to be shown off. I think this is just way too early. And with all the issues...
It's funny because they showed all these trailers long ago of these games, right?
Maybe I'm just pessimistic on it. But like Perfect Dark is one of those games, like you said, like new studio, all the stuff with Crystal Dynamics. It's one that people are like cautiously optimistic, I would say right now, based on all the news we've heard. I don't know. If they just decided this year to go in a certain direction as to where they want the game to go, because that's kind of what we heard with Daryl Gallagher. You like put his foot down and it's like, we're going with Crystal Dynamics and we're going this way with the game. Yep. I just feel like it's too early for them to have anything to be ready to show off right now.
Yeah. I don't know, but Jez says, like, I hear things from Jez Gordon, like on the Xbox 2 podcast, that every studio apparently has at least something to show.
Okay.
So
maybe a CGI trailer or something. Maybe just an update.
Yeah, cool. Maybe just like an update or like a screenshot or something would be cool, even too. Or even like a character, like show the full character model off would be cool. Like, remember how they kind of showed off Stalker that one time where they're kind of just flying through the character model, showing the teeth and stuff? Yeah, it'd be cool if they did like almost just like a fly through of Joanna Dark's character model and the detail they put into her. Like, kind of just like a fake way to be like, oh, here she is.
Yeah. We're still working on it.
Yeah. So fingers crossed. But it sounds like Tony is not too optimistic on your prediction so far.
Not on purpose. Just being honest.
All right. Tony, your second prediction for the night. What do we think?
So this one's not going to be a game. I think they're going to finally announce the family plan for Game Pass. I think they're going to give us a price, and they're going to tell us you can go and sign up right now for a family plan. And I feel like the price, if they can get it to like, I don't know, $30 or $35, it'll be pretty impressive. I think they're going to finally announce that.
I think what almost they could do is add to it. So let's say it starts at $25, $5 more. And if you want, that would be 2 people. If you want 3 people, it's $30, or 4 people, $35. Okay. Like, and it kind of caps out at a certain point, like let's say 5 people or something.
Do you think we'd see like console sharing or like game sharing go if they do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That game sharing could become obsolete, but I feel like people would uproar.
I feel like
right away.
I don't think they can take that away like right away or anything, because there's going to be a lot of people who are single users but have like an Xbox upstairs in their bedroom or something and an Xbox in their living room. And it's like, you can't just steal that from me. Like, that's what it was originally intended for, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest thing with the family sharing program coming out is the one annoying thing now is, like, I share it with my wife, but she can't do cloud streaming. So let's say even if it's my home console upstairs and I'm logged in, she's logged in, she clicks on the game, it will not give her an option to cloud stream it directly to the console. She has to always play it direct to the console, which is kind of upsetting because the Xbox One upstairs has a direct connection. So there's like no latency outside, and they get access to an Xbox Series X through the cloud. So essentially we're she's forced to play the crappier version of the game because they don't allow cloud streaming when you're sharing, even though she's tied to my account. So yeah, that needs to come. But I'm going to go one step further. I also think they're going to announce, just to kind of tack onto your thing, I think they're kind of going to re-tier and add a lower tier. I think they're going to add a $5 stream-only tier. No downloads, no perks, no Xbox Live online, just stream only with access to free-to-play games. I feel like the Fortnite was kind of like the first taste of that, when they had that disastrous weekend.
That would be a smart move. I mean, because how many... Well, I guess Fortnite you're playing through stream, but I was thinking like people are probably mostly playing single-player stuff through streaming. I don't know. It's an assumption. I could be wrong on that, but probably
Yeah,
smart.
but they
you don't need Xbox Live.
Yeah, but still allow like those games. Like you don't need Xbox Live now for Fortnite or Warzone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So still kind of keep it like that. But I feel like a stream only tier and the family plan will be announced for sure. So I like that. All right, so on to my third pick. So Microsoft and Xbox, they've been selling fantastic in Japan. They got the tiny console, fits that tinier space in Japan, the smaller apartments. They have a ton of partnerships going. They said over 200 partnerships, and I think they're going to be partnering up with somebody they partnered up before. So my gut is telling me, and this will be just no trailer, and we're talking just a title screen here. But Lost Odyssey 2 is coming, and it's going to be by Miss Walker. The full team, the creator of Final Fantasy, will be coming back and making a sequel, in my opinion, to one of his best games ever made. Lost Odyssey 1 was absolutely phenomenal. It was the first game that went from a CGI clip like straight into gameplay. I remember there's this clip where like he's like dodging all these swords and he dodges this one sword over his head and then it slides right out of CGI right into gameplay, into the battle. I'm knocking my camera into the battle system. And it's the first, like you got to play at least the first 10 minutes of the original Lost Odyssey or look it up. It goes from this beautiful CGI sequence straight into the turn-based battle seamlessly at the beginning, and it was like nothing else. What a phenomenal game, and it deserves a sequel 100%. And it would be that Japanese game that we need. Like it felt like our Final Fantasy, and it needs a sequel, in my opinion. Any of you play the original Lost Odyssey?
I haven't got a chance to.
I did. I don't know if I beat it, but I did remember playing it back on 360.
So do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember that scene. Yeah, that was very, very cool.
So cool. Like, Dan, you got to check out just the first 10 minutes because that was the whole thing with JRPGs, like especially during that era. It was all about that CGI story clip, and the fact that he like took it and blended it into gameplay was like awesome. So it was quite the moment for the 360 era for sure.
It looks like Miss Walker is currently just working on like mobile games.
Game. Yeah. So I feel like that's like a good check for them. Like, come on, get out of this mobile hole. Like the new mobile game. It's pretty interesting. They made this whole set, this like actual miniature set, and took pictures of it, and you just play this like character running around RPG, but it's actual like model they built for the game world. It's so weird.
That's great.
So yeah, but they need so that's my big big wish. Yeah, that would be wild, man. Talk about like winning your showcase. Like people will walk away and be like, they fucking did it, man. They did it. So that's my hope. But Dan, third option. What are we feeling? What's your gut telling you?
I'm thinking we're going to see something along the lines of like the Master Chief Collection, but for like Gears of War.
So are we talking Gears just 1, 2, and 3, and maybe Judgment down the road? Kind of like Reach came?
I think we'd see something like that, yeah. Like the first 3 and then like a nice, like sort of remastered version of it and like updated graphics, all that good stuff, and probably a couple other modes and everything too that would just come along with it because they've gotten like the Horde mode, like expanding on that with the like I don't know, all the characters and just having every game's characters like all playable in there would be awesome.
Yeah, especially Horde mode 3.0 from Gears 3 was so good. But I would love to see in that remastered collection, because I know they remastered the first Gears, but if they added Gears 2 and 3 fully remastered, and even if they went one step further and they're just like in Unreal Engine 5, like, that would look so amazing.
They do something extra crazy and release like a zombie Dom mode.
Yeah.
That'd be
awesome. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. Dom, no. I'm not gonna lie, man. When Dom died in the third game, spoiler. Yeah, dude, I was like, he was my brother in arms, and I was straight up like crying. So
I'm with you on that. I was very distraught after that.
Yeah.
Dude, he was just like, I'm gonna save you. He went out like a champ too.
Yeah,
like it was awesome. Like what a moment. What a earned moment too in that. If anyone, and I feel like that's one thing Microsoft doesn't get credit for is everyone's just like, oh, Sony and their story masterpiece games. I'm like, man, there's no game like Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. Those stories,
and they're fun.
And they're fun. Right? Shocking. And they have good gameplay. Yeah. So. I hope that. Actually, I'm really hoping. Do you think we get like a Master Chief collection for Gears? The Phoenix collection, maybe they'll call it?
I agree with Dan on this one. I do think we're going to see that. I really, really do. And I'm all for it. I mean, Master Chief collection, like even you look at it today, right? It's still so good, and they're still
has a higher population than Infinite.
Yeah, so I think it'd be a great move, and I think tons of people will be playing it. I'll be on that day one for sure. So.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of these collections too. I feel like it really, like the Master Chief collection came out rough, obviously, but the overall package itself, the fact that you could pick like all the levels that had vehicles and you would play through like all 4 games and it would like game hop you and stuff, like really cool. I feel like almost Microsoft does the best collections with the Rare replay to the Master Chief collection to hopefully this really takes the legacy of the franchise and honors it, in my opinion. So yeah, I hope that. I'd be all over that for sure. Tony, your third prediction.
So my third one is probably unlikely, but I feel like we're going to see a new Killer Instinct, and it's going to be from Bandai Namco because we know that's the rumor that's been going around. We know Xbox needs a fighter in their portfolio that's an Xbox Game Studios fighter, and why not just revive Killer Instinct that everybody wanted? It is a fun fighter. It's a great fighter. So they were going to finally see a brand new Killer Instinct, and I feel like it's closer to being finished than we think, and we're going to get it relatively soon.
Nice. And do you think that would be more like a platform? Kind of like the first one was, where they expanded on it, but more live service, like with seasons and stuff like that, maybe?
Yeah. I didn't think about that one too much, but yeah, actually, with like the way that the industry is going, I think it would be perfect for that with the games as a service booming, right? Like they probably would want to do that for Killer Instinct. So it was it was pretty successful with the one that came out in 2013. So.
Yeah, 2013 was very successful, so it's kind of a shame. Who made it? Was it Iron Galaxy that made it, or did they take it over after? I know Iron Galaxy had something to do with it. It was that and Double Helix, I think, made it, and then Iron Galaxy took over after Double Helix got purchased by Amazon and then destroyed. Like, man, what a lost opportunity. Like, Double Helix gets purchased by Amazon and essentially gets destroyed as a company, and they just like make nothing now. I don't even know if they're around. Microsoft should have bought them, considering how good their version of Killer Instinct it was. Like, Killer Instinct, when they brought that back for the launch of Xbox One, that game was good.
It was great.
Too bad the blunder of their launch totally took the wind out of that game's sales. And it was at EVO events, and Killer Instinct's never going to be back at EVO now. That Sony owns it.
Sony owns it, yeah.
I hope. Who do you think out of the Bandai Namco team? Do you think it might be the Persona people, or maybe a partnership with the Guilty Gear? Didn't they make the Persona game?
The fighting one or whatever, or like the brawler or whatever it was. I forget. Yeah, probably those guys.
God, that'd be amazing if it was Arc System Works. Bandai Namco Killer Instinct game. Oh, that guy.
They just need that in their portfolio right now.
That sounds so good because their engine's so amazing too. Do you think they would change the art style to be more like anime?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they would go with kind of like an updated version of the 2013 one, because that was the aesthetic for that one. I thought was pretty cool. So even when they were adding the new characters, like they had like the Arbiter and Rash in there and stuff, they all looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. It started turning into a pretty cool crossover game. Yeah.
And you think about it now with all of the IPs that they have and all the studios have, the amount of crossover guys they could put in there. They could even make like a Smash Bros style of brawler too. Which would be
I was actually just gonna say it. I was like, would you guys play like a Smash Bros style game like that?
The Lich King comes in and whatnot. Yeah. Captain Price from Call of Duty flies it.
So many opportunities.
That'd be amazing. All right. Okay, so I like that. Your third prediction. I really, really, really like that. All right, so on to my last prediction. We'll get on to the last one with you guys and kind of close on for the night. I think we're past 11 o'clock, so I'm not going to keep you much longer, Tony. All right, so my last prediction. So back a couple years ago, I think it was back in 2018, Microsoft announced that they purchased Compulsion Games with a bunch of other studios. And these games have been taken forever, but I feel like they are closer than we think. And I think Compulsion Games' new IP is ready, and it will actually be releasing this holiday. I feel like it was something that was purposely held close to the chest. And I don't know. My gut just tells me that Compulsion's game in particular is a lot closer than we think, and I think we're going to get a full reveal of it, and I hope this holiday release, but at least a 2023 release. But I think that game is a lot closer than we think, specifically Compulsion's game. What do you think, Dan? Compulsion.
That'd be pretty awesome. I mean, like, if the rumors are, if they're what they're saying is true, and like every company's gonna release something, then they gotta announce something good. Hopefully, it's a whole new IP.
So Compulsion's the people who made We Happy Few in this this other game, and it's a lot of people who made BioShock. So I feel like they have and from what I've seen of leaks, it looks like it's based in like the southern America, but like very voodoo inspired, bayou kind of
cool,
with like magic and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I really want to see what their kind of creativity can bring to the table, because We Happy Few, I feel like remember when they showed off Tony, remember when they showed off We Happy Few, and it was like just that opening sequence, and it looked
like the pills
super,
and stuff.
Yeah, like BioShocky and almost like a single player game. And then it turned into like more of a survival game, and people are like, no, you guys nailed this like intro. You should just do like more of that. And I feel like they understand that now. And I feel like Microsoft realizes they showed a lot of CGI trailers for like Perfect Dark, Fable, these games that are not like kind of ready. So that's why I have a feeling this game was kind of kept closer to the chest and is a lot closer to being ready than we think of it. Kind of like how you feel about Killer Instinct, possibly. I feel like Microsoft kind of learned their lesson with announcing things a little bit too early, but it's exciting. You have a new console coming, so I can understand. But Compulsion, what do you think, Tony?
I don't. So they're like you said, they're working on their project. We don't know much about it other than it's like the Southern Gothic style of whatever. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. It would be a big surprise because we haven't heard anything about it, and I feel like it would be a good move to release a game in 2022 that no one's expecting, that we haven't seen gameplay of, and they show it off here and then release it in the holiday season to kind of go the opposite of, like you said, what they're doing by showing off games super early. So that would be cool. And Compulsion, like I didn't play We Happy Few, but I did play Contrast when it came onto Game Pass, which was like their first game, and it was a pretty cool concept. It was a decent game. It was like puzzle based, and you were going through like shadows and stuff. So there's a lot of potential from that studio. So like they're just unique in the stuff that they make. So I'd be pumped if they did at least show off Project Midnight or whatever it's called, at the very least.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I think they have a very creative team.
Yeah.
And a very unique art style to them. So, and a very talented team as well. Like We Happy Few, the concept was good, but it just didn't have the budget. So hopefully Microsoft gives them that. But Dan, onto your last prediction.
Yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic because of the delays and everything, but I'm hoping we'll see some more Starfield footage, like some actual gameplay stuff, get some like real world and like maybe a bit of like story on what's going on and everything and in the world there, and like get some real gameplay stuff going. Like
imagine if they didn't show it.
Yeah,
like
nothing on it.
Yeah, like, and what if that game is farther out than we think? So like, I hope, but considering their event is kind of like a planet, right? I think that prediction's pretty solid right there. But I hope we get a nice, like at least a 10-minute breakdown of it. Are you excited to see more Starfield?
Yeah, I mean,
Tony?
Yeah, I'm with Dan. I think they're going to show Starfield. I feel like it's going to be a shorter showcase than what we would have gotten if it was released in November. The thing with Starfield being delayed is like, if it didn't get delayed, they literally could have spent half the show showing Starfield and they would have been golden. They would have had to show it off like a couple other things, but now they really got to fill it in. But yeah, I think they will show Starfield. And if they don't, I will be slightly concerned as to how far the game is out.
Yeah, I'd be like, it's definitely holiday of next year then.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. All right, Tony, last prediction from you.
All right, last prediction. I'm gonna go with a big Game Pass announcement. So I think they're either gonna get Gotham Knights, Saints Row, or something that is even the most improbable of them all. I think maybe Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. They're going to announce for Game Pass coming on day one, which would be nuts. Okay. Which would be nuts because the deal hasn't gone through, and we know PlayStation has the marketing race. But if they were somehow able to pull out that $1 trillion pocketbook and get Call of Duty on day one, it would just be like the mic drop of the show, and everyone would go home happy.
You know what? And it's funny because me and Dan were talking about this last week. How does Microsoft feel about that game even coming onto the service halfway through its life cycle? Because if the deal ends halfway through, let's say, and I guess Call of Duty will have a longer tail end because it's going to be 2-year cycle. But I feel like, yes, you're 100% right. It's their own money. You're spending money to put money back into your own pocket. Like you give them the money, you buy the company, you just got that money back. Like,
and what you're saying about coming out halfway through, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is going to be the biggest Call of Duty that release we've seen in who knows how long, right?
A long time.
It's a cultural
Probably
phenomenon.
since Modern Warfare 2. Probably since Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. And everyone's buying that day one. So if you wait halfway through the life cycle, everyone's like, well, I already bought the game. So you got to get, I think that's when you got to get on their day one and just pay the money, break the deal with PlayStation, unless PlayStation's like, you know what, even if you offer us, I don't know, $50 million, we're not doing it. Who knows?
Yeah. But you know what? A lot of people say that PlayStation might have a clause in their contract for marketing to not be on a streaming service. And in my head, I'm just like, I feel like Call of Duty can be like, no, we won't do that. Like, we know Microsoft is buying us, so we're not going to sign that clause to, and Sony would just be like, okay, we'll just remove it.
Yeah.
like I feel like Call of Duty has enough big dick energy to just be like, yeah, like we can do whatever we want with our franchise. You can just have the marketing rights.
I have a feeling if they can make it work well on like Xbox, like xCloud, then like why wouldn't PlayStation just be putting in their bid to be like, hey, can we get it on like PlayStation Plus too?
Yeah.
Never know. Imagine they pull a reverse card on that.
Yeah.
It's like we spent what we spent on Bungie just to get this onto PlayStation Plus.
We'll take that clause out on one condition.
Yeah.
Put it on PS Plus Premium and you're going to have that subscription just skyrocket.
God, I hear that's been just a dumpster fire of a release so far.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's too bad. But that would be nuts, honestly. Like, that would be absolutely crazy. And I feel like it sounds a lot better than it coming 6 months down the road, you know? So I feel like the fact that Starfield and... Imagine if Starfield and Redfall, they were like, hey, we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 locked for this holiday on Game Pass. You guys can push yourself to next year if you feel like you need to.
Imagine,
like, imagine that.
Because like, Phil must have known like weeks in advance before Tyler was like, yeah, we got to delay this game, right? They must have been having something in the works leading up to that announcement. The announcement was like the drop dead day they have to made a decision, but Phil must have had some sort of contingency plan. And I think we're going to see all this on June 12th. So
yeah, I like it. All right. Well, that concludes our predictions for the showcase. I look forward to actually sitting down and seeing how wrong we are all.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out to the showcase and tally up the score, right? But before we leave, Tony, I just want to say thanks for joining us again. I feel like you were our first guest on this show. I really wanted you to come back for this particular episode, and you've been great support for us. And I just want to say thank you for that. I love hopping onto your Saturday streams and talking with people and interacting with the chat. I talk too much, so I do apologize for that. But I haven't got removed by the moderators yet, so that's good.
Moderator being me.
Yeah, right. If you ever want to give me mod, I can help out too.
So but then you'll never leave the chat if I give you moderator.
Yeah, right. Or remember, like that one day, it was just this like PlayStation, and he was just like LLL, and like he bans him, Dan, and then the guy comes back with a different account.
Course.
Just to do the same thing. I'm like, oh man, how sad of a human being are you? Like to do that. Exactly, right? But Tony, tell people, and you can see I'm wearing my
it's awesome. Appreciate it.
Shirt.
That's awesome.
So go grab some of his merch. There's some great stuff on the merch store. But Tony, tell people where they can find you, what you do, and all that jazz.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, thanks for having me on. It was great. Anytime you guys want me to come on the show, send the invite, and I'll do my best to be here. I love just chatting games with you guys. But to find me, it's Plume Network on YouTube, Plume Network on the Big Plume on Twitter, and Facebook and Instagram. But Plume Network on YouTube is the best place to find me. I put community posts and I do daily content.
And if you want to hear insider information, follow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
He is definitely creating a name for himself. It's a hashtag insider. God, some of the posts, man. I've been finding you've been upticking your hot takes on Twitter. Lately, I've been enjoying that.
I've stopped caring. I'm just putting anything out there now on Twitter because it's just too stupid of a platform to care with some of the stuff that you read.
Some people just want to watch the world burn. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, Tony. It's always great to have you.
Thanks so much.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. And Dan, take us home.
All right. Yeah, don't forget to smack that subscribe button on our YouTube page and tippity tap that like button. You can comment on Plume's beautiful voice or Tony's beautiful voice there. And you can find us on audio only on Spotify and Google Podcasts. Just search relentlessly for Xbox North Podcast. We're also on Reddit and Instagram. Look for Xbox North Podcast. And for Twitter, @NorthXbox. Because why would we make it easy for you?
Never, never, never. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching.